Welcome to Harpy Stitch. I'm Amy and this is my channel all about cross stitch. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see. And if you are returning, welcome back. First of all, that is our cat. He's whining because he's hungry. We are filming this on January 21st of 2024. First life update.
Hey, how you doing today? Good? Good. It's been a while. I'm sorry about that. I've had some health issues we're trying to get under control. It's nice to be back. You look good. Is that a new outfit? Well, it suits you. Anyway, let's go see what Amy has to say. We got some life updates.
I have returned to school after having the first week of the year off. That's one of the reasons for the delay in the new video, because it is always a bit of an adjustment to go back mentally and emotionally. You're just tired after returning to the trenches. Also, my husband hadn't been feeling well. He's feeling better now until today when his back went out mysteriously, but we're filming anyway. He's a trooper and he's like, nope, we need to do it. I'm like, all right. You might notice that I don't have my patch. Yay. I'm stitching faster, and I found out on my last treatment that now I don't have to go every 4 weeks. I only have to go every 6 weeks. So some improvement there too. I want to thank everybody who watched my stitch with me. I didn't have anybody watching with me live. That's okay. I don't know the best times to do these things. And it was a bit of a disaster because we were learning as we did. We will do better next time. As you've noticed, we have adopted some of the format that we used for the live because we liked the way it looked. And so our videos are going to look a wee bit different now. I did register to do the Queen City Stitch Retreat, and I was lucky enough to get an email that said I was chosen to go. Unfortunately, I decided against doing it because my friend didn't get in, and I just decided that this year I couldn't really financially do it. I'm hoping to go next year, though. I did find an alternative retreat to go to, which I will talk about later in plans. I thought I would give you my 2023 stats for my stitching. I had 9 finishes. I had 17 new starts. I have 15 whips in progress at the moment. And I have finished 1 project so far this year that was cross stitch related. When I made these notes, I did not have any finishes, but I do have 2 finishes, not directly cross stitch related, are not actually cross-stitch projects, but they are cross-stitch related.
When finishing, always do so in a well-ventilated area. Finishing inside might seem like a good idea in the heat of the moment, but for maximum safety, one should always finish outside when possible.
I made, with the help of my friend Teresa, my very first project bags. Check them out. This is called the Beauties and Brains fabric, and we'd been keeping it around for years, didn't know what we wanted to do with it. And Teresa said, hey, let's make some project bags. And so I decided to use this. And then Teresa donated the flannel, or not the flannel, the vinyl and the inner fabric and the zippers for me. And then I made one with it. Ooh, I guess it really doesn't matter which way goes up. On the inside, a nurse and a bride, and this nice little black fabric. So my first 2 project bags to make, very exciting. I'm not a fan of working with the vinyl so much, so I don't know if I'll make vinyl ones next time, but I leveled up my stitching or my sewing. Yay! So there you go. That's something.
She's always got any number of whips because she can't help herself. When a project comes along, she must whip it.
I did do a whip parade on my Stitch with Me, but honestly, I cannot remember what I showed, and I've worked on several of my projects since then that I hadn't worked on yet, so I'm just kind of going to review everything since I can't remember. Here is the Goth Temp Stitch Along that I did. It is by Goth Stitch. I started it on January 6th, well, the books. 2023. I had done a lot of the border before that. It is on 28 count Picture This Plus French lilac. There were 50 colors. I've gotten all the books done. The only thing I have left to do is the back stitching. So I am hoping that I will have this finished and framed. And then I need to do the key off to the side. I made the cat down here look like our cat. There was one bonus book here that has nothing to do with the temperature, so I just picked a color I thought was pretty. And then I used some variegated thread for the fabric, or for the ferns instead of the called for 2 different color greens. And it looks a little weird now, but I think when I go in and add the back stitch for the different branches of the ferns, it'll help break that up and make it look like individual leaves more. So I think that'll be fun. And I'm so excited it's done. My second whip for you today is the Wisdom Stocking, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artwork is by Cherry Gerhardt. Yeah, did I say that right? Yeah, pretty close. Gerhardt. This is what it'll look like when I'm finished. And this is where I am now. I started this on March 1st of 2023. It is 2/1 on 25 count, just plain white fabric. It is going to be gorgeous. I am trying to make sure I don't leave any ninja stitches because when it's this close together, they just disappear and then you lose some of those details. I'm making this for my child. They have a stocking. I made them when they were a baby, but it's a teddy bear and it was needlepoint, and the needlepoint canvases started to tear up yarn that was used, and plus a teddy bear doesn't really fit my child now that they are 24. This is going to be a focus piece this year for me. Next is Dancing in the Moonlight by Praiseworthy Stitches. It will look like this when it's finished. And here's what it looks like now. It is on 36 count. Picture This Plus Mystic. I started it on May 29th this year, 2023. There are 15 colors and I am doing it 2/2. I think it looks really pretty. I wish that the purple crosses on some of the gravestones popped a little bit better. There's a kitty cat there. He's really hard to see, but I think once I put his eye on for the bead, it'll really help him show up. And then on the tree here, I'm kind of wishing I had gone a different direction so that the variegation went up like tree bark, but that's okay. I hadn't really done an entire project in variegated thread before, so I was learning. I do like the way the pumpkins and the jack-o'-lanterns are looking. And this cute little kitty here. I think when I get back to this one, I'm going to work on the fence piece here. My next whip for you is Dead Outlaw Female. It will look like this when it is done. And this is what it looks like now. Might have a little hard time fitting it because it's getting tall. I started this on June 25th of 2023. It is on 14 count pecan by Fabric Flair. It is 2/1. There are 6 colors that are charted for this. I have done a few modifications. I've added metallic thread for the embellishment on her dress. I wanted to test it out, so I did the small side before I'm going to do here. I'm trying to decide, there's some back stitching here, and I might give her fringe on her V here a little bit of sparkle too. I did a 12 for the barrel of the gun and the metallic parts of the barrel here. I really love the way this is looking on the pecan. It's like really rich and deep. I love it. I'm going to change the original date from what was charted to the year my husband and I got married. And then I will do the male partner piece and also put the same date, and then I'll frame them to match each other. I think I found the perfect frames at Michael's too. I thought about changing the words here, but I kind of like the quotes on both of them. I am really liking how this is coming along. I love the crack here in the masonry, I guess is the word I'm looking for. My next one for you is the Kingdoms of Lifestyle by Stitchonomy. I am really still enjoying this one. I've made a bit of progress since you saw it last. I started this on July 4th of 2023. There are 25 colors and I'm doing it 2/1 on 14 count fabric I got at Michael's. I got quite a bit done on the plant section here, so I think it is looking great and it's super fun. I will probably put this in my library in the nonfiction section when I'm done. Sometimes I pick stuff that I think would be cool to go in my library to help kids find stuff, and it's very kid friendly. Thinking about putting the key in there too so they know what each item is. Not that they can read Latin in elementary school.
Better keep an eye on the one that does, though. He'll be summoning stuff to help him with his homework. Thee I invoke, the bornless one, thee that didst create the earth and the heavens, thee that didst create the night and the day, thee that didst create the darkness and the light, thee that doth know what 6 times 9 is.
This is the Storybook Halloween Sal by Stitchonomy as well. I started this on July 5th, 2023. It is on 14 count oatmeal Ada. There are 19 colors and I'm doing it 2/1. I haven't really had any progress, I don't think, since I showed you this last time. It hasn't fit into any of my prompts for this year so far, but it is super fun to work on. This is the Overlook Sal by Robin Allen. I started it on July 5th, 2023, the day of the starts. I got this through the Kingverse Stitch group on Facebook. Robin has now opened an Etsy store. I will link that in the comments below. It is on 32 count Belfast linen Stormy Clouds. I'm doing it 2/2. There are 13 colors for the frame. This fit quite a few of my prompts for magical stitches this month. So I got quite a bit done. I filled in this whole area here, and I got started on another tower. And I might try to do 1/1 for some of the people's faces in some of the rooms, kind of like you would with a Nora Corbett, to get it a little smoother and more detailed. We'll see when I get there. My next one for you is the Horrorfly Sal by Noctifloradesigns. I actually have a little extra margin on the bottom, and I'm thinking maybe I can squeeze out a teeny tiny project to use all of this beautiful fabric. I started this on August 3rd, 2023. It is on 18 count hand-dyed fabric in the color Deadly Blooms by Witches Gardens Crafts. There are 18 colors, and I'm doing it 2/1. I really like it. I still think that the one fly here, since his eye's not finished, looks a little bit drunk or a little high, but it won't look like that when it's done. I love the vibrancy of the colors. I'm still kind of wishing I had put in some sparklies with the blood, and I'm trying to decide whether I actually want to go back and frog it. I'm still torn because it still looks great. I don't think it needs the sparkles. Yeah, I could do it as back stitching. I might do that too. Maybe some etoile or just a matching metallic filament. I'm not sure yet. I will see what it looks like when it's all together and then decide. But it's so pretty. Seriously, Witch's Garden Crafts, if you happen to watch this, if you can make some more of this, I would love it. I can think of a few Nora Corbett fairies and stuff that would look really pretty on it too. This, I got quite a bit of progress on because I had to stitch 100 stitches in green. It was a great excuse to work on this one. It's Seductive Kermit by the Witchy Stitcher. It was the bonus pattern for the Supernatural Sal. I love Kermit. Kermit is one of the best things ever. I started this on August 12th, 2023. I am doing it on 32 count Black Lugana. There are 12 colors and I'm doing it 1/2. I love the way his head's thrown back. It just cracks me up. I don't know if I will frame this or maybe make it into a little teeny tiny pillow. I'm not sure yet, but it is going to be super adorable. Next is Sapita by Maroomy Designs. I started this on August 14th of 2023. It's on 32 count Yellowstone by Needle Bling. I am doing it in one solid color, 1/1. It is color 4240 from DMC called Midsummer Night. After I finished all my magical stitches prompts this month, I wanted this to be my focus. I got quite a bit of progress. If you look, this is a pomegranate plant here. We've got a couple of the pomegranates coming in, and then on her skirt is a sun, and you can start to see the rays forming in her skirt. I am actually stitching the negative space of the design. In the original design, Maroomy charted the plants and the other pieces, so I flipped it because I just thought it would be neat. I think it came to me when I got this fabric. I just said, oh, it's the sun. And so I thought this is the perfect color for the yellow for the sun. And then she's supposed to be the first rays of sun in the morning. And so I thought it would be really cool to use this beautiful yellow fabric and then make the background the color of the night sky. It's actually, since I don't have any color changes, it goes pretty fast when I stitch it. But something came up and now this can't be my focus for the week right now.
We were mauled by bears, you see. 2 big ones and a little one. They were looking for some blonde girl and had the wrong house. We tried to explain, but one sniff of my porridge and they just went crazy. She's lucky she could stitch it all. The little one went right for her.
All right, my next one was my friend's birthday start, Letters from Hogwarts by Cunning Crossstitch. I started this on August 24th, 2023. It is on 32 count Belfast Stone Gray. There are 49 colors and it is 2/2. You can actually tell that the train's a train now. I'm so excited. My wand is coming in. I definitely think I'm going to have to backstitch some on that wand so that it'll pop and show the elements of the wand better. I will probably be using this project for Superb Owl on February 11th because there is an owl on each side of the frame. Why not stitch it during the Super Bowl? Good as excuse as any, right? And I think it's the only project I have that has owls on it. I've gotten between Christmas break and magical stitches, and not having my patch anymore, I've gotten so much stitching done. I am really excited to be back closer to my normal pace. And this is Halloween Fairy by Nora Corbett, sometimes called Trick or Treat Fairy because Nora actually has another pattern called Halloween Fairy as well. I got this from a Crossstitch magazine from the 90s, I think. I started it on October 3rd of 2023. It is also on 32 count Yellowstone by Needle Bling. I got a piece of that and then I split it between the two. I just happened to have a fabric that would work great for both of them. And then I didn't have to waste fabric, which is always a good thing. There are 17 colors and I'm doing it 2/2. I have a little bit of the metallics here and I started on her crown. So you can actually start to see the shape of her face. I am so excited. I think she's really popping quite nicely on this yellow. And I cannot wait to get in like right here and right here around in this skirt part. A few of those little notches in the brown are the Trick or Treat, which is going to be a beautiful color. I'm so excited. And then I can say I've finished my first Nora Corbett maybe this year. That would be super fun. This one is The Fortune Teller by Jessie Schoefield. This was from this year's Just Crossstitch Halloween issue. I started it on October 5th. It is on 40 count Haunted by Serafina. There are 20 colors and I'm doing it 1/2. Last time I shared this, I think I just had some of the orange and the oranges are so close. It was really hard for me to keep them straight. So I decided to switch over to do some of the black from the trees and to provide some depth and texture. All the oranges and the purple are 2, and then it's 3 strands of black is what the pattern called for, but I'm doing it 1/2 because I'm on 40 count, so the black is just 2 strands. So this is all 1 strand and then the black is 2 to give the trees a little bit of dimension in front of the scene behind it. That would be really cool. And then when I add the skull, I'm still trying to decide when I get to his mouth and his eyes whether I want to leave the haunted fabric showing through to kind of give it a weird dimension or if I just want to do it in black. But I'll just stitch everything else and then leave that open and see how it looks and make my choice from there. This is going to be so pretty, and I really wish I had a bunch more of this fabric because it's also gorgeous. But I do have a big enough piece to do another project on, so I just have to find the perfect project. Supernatural Sal by the Witchy Stitcher. Ooh, no escaping needle. One of my prompts this month was a horse. I figured a unicorn qualifies as a horse, so I got to work on this one a bit. I started this on either October 2nd or October 9th. I wrote a 2 and a 9, and now I can't tell which one I was writing over the other one with. It's on 25 count Country Mocha. There are 21 colors, and I am doing it 2/2. I am clearly changing some things because the border should be black, but I am doing it in the purple Etoile 550. I haven't finished the corner pieces because I'm trying to decide if I want to change to a coordinated color for the purple instead of the coordinated color for the black, or if I want to do a different color in the different squares based on the animal and how I decide to color the creature, I should say, in the thing. Very fun. I think it's going to be cool. This is the project that is causing me not to be able to work on Sepideh this week, and I know it is barely going to fit in the camera because it is very wide. This is the Shawshank Redemption sampler, which I've done several of them before, but the gentleman who pays me to stitch them for him finally got another order, so this is going to be what I'm working on until I'm finished so that I can mail it out to the person who bought it. I started this on 10/12/23 because I started before I got the order. It is by SS Prop Designs on Etsy. It's on 11 count ivory Aida, and it is 4 colors, and I'm doing 3/1. So this is my focus piece until it is done. So basically I'm not going to stitch on anything until it's done. Luckily, they only usually take me about an hour and a half, and I can still use it for some of my challenges and magical stitches. So that's good too. Now for my new starts.
This seems like a good time to remind you to like and subscribe. If you choose to smash the bell, know this: there are dire consequences, for it is a thing of prophecy that foretells our coming and should not be meddled with by lesser mortals.
If you joined me for my Stitch With Me, you saw me start this one. This is Cliffhanger by Jade. The art is by Amy Stewart. This was my New Year, New Start, the first one I've ever done. So this was the first thing I started this year. It is on 25 count Witchelt that I got from Amazon. There are 200 colors. I'm doing it 2/1. I am also doing this as a part of Jade This Decade. And anything Amy Stewart, which is another hashtag over on Instagram. I don't think that's a bad start since other projects have taken up a lot of my time for my Magical Stitches prompts. But it is looking lovely, even though I have almost all reds and a little bit of brown. I did try putting this on a scroll bar, but it did not hold enough tension, which made doing these tiny stitches really hard to keep them consistent. I've changed needles a couple of times trying to get a good size needle where I could get the threads in the eye, but also that it wasn't splitting the stitches when I went through as they were close together. I had it in a regular bamboo hoop as well, but that still wasn't holding my tension enough. I had it in a big, like 18-inch one, but it just wouldn't keep it tight. So I had a couple of plastic ones so that I could do it over the inner ring and then have the outer ring kind of go around the ridge to help it stay a little bit tighter, which really helped because it also helps kind of spread the holes a little bit and makes it a little easier to see. I do sometimes use some magnifiers that I got that you slip them over your glasses and then they flip up. So if you want to look far away, I use those sometimes with that just to help me because it is tiny stitching. But I have it all serged and ready to go. And I am hoping that it'll fit into more prompts next month because I figured out how many stitches I need to do in a day to get it done in a decade. And daily, it's not that much, but I don't get to stitch every day, and I have a lot of other projects I want to work on, so it doesn't always get I think it was 117 stitches a day every day to finish in 10 years, but it's not getting quite that many because other things keep grabbing my attention. My second new start for the year was the It Sal by Robin Allen as well. You can follow it in the Kingverse book, but they also Facebook group, but there's also another Facebook group specifically for this Sal. Robin Allen's Etsy shop is A Stitch in My Side. I started this, I can't remember off the top of my head, and I forgot to write it down. Gotten a new cross-stitch journal yet. It's just on a piece of 18 count white fabric from my stash that I happen to have. I'm doing it 2/1. I wanted to do the title, which is Losers Club, in etoile, the red etoile to give it a little sparkle, but the 321 that I have in the regular DMC didn't match the 321 etoile. The shades of red were a bit different, so what I did is I blended one strand of the 321 regular and one strand of the etoile so that if I'm using just the plain red later, it'll not look so incongruous. It won't look so mismatched if I don't use the etoile later, depending on what the red's for, because since it's a mystery stitch along, I don't know. It is probably my favorite Stephen King book of all time, or tied with The Stand anyway. I was super excited to do this one. The first part is out after the title, and I haven't gotten started on that yet or printed it out because I've had so many other things I've been working on. But I think it'll look really cool.
Today I spent 2.5 hours working on this video and I barely got anywhere. Where the heck does the time go? I mean, aside from everywhere all at once. It's not really linear. That's just the only way the idiot machine inside our skulls can process it. Look, the space-time continuum, reality, is so big that the parts of it that you think are enormous and infinite are just subsets of an even larger and more infinite whole. And don't even get me started on the damn mustard.
Mostly it's magazines. Most of my haul I was going to share with you before my Stitch With Me, but it was for the cliffhanger project. So a lot of it has already been put away. I do want to share, excuse me for the crinkling, my Cone of Doom.
Cone of Doom!
It is so big. This was part of my haul for the cliff hanger because it needs 16.75 skeins of 310. And this was a much more economical way to get it than buying it strand or skein by skein. So I dove in and got the Cone of Doom.
Cone of Doom!
1.1 pounds, just in case you're curious about the weight. And then I had about half of the colors in my stash. The other half I acquired. There were a few colors that I had that needed multiple skeins, and some of those I just went out and bought more of to make sure that it was all the same dye lots so that it wouldn't mismatch. Although probably you wouldn't notice in some of them because they'll be far apart on the project. But I didn't want to take that risk when it's going to take me 10 years to finish it. I can't think of a better way to store it than in the plastic bag that it came in. So I do not want to bobbinate this all at the same time. I know some people don't like bobbinating. I actually usually find it pretty relaxing, but this is just too much at once. Another thing that I got as haul was for Christmas. Our child gave me the box set of a toile from DMC. So that was super awesome. I got a whole thing of sparkly thread, and I didn't have that one, so that was great. Now, I definitely have enough to do the Supernatural Cell border probably, and probably enough to do the Cryptid one, because I'm going to do that in the 890 a toile for the border, because aliens and weird things should be like dark green. Don't ask me why, but in my brain, that's exactly what they should be. Mythical creatures should be purpley, have purple borders, and aliens and weird things should have green. I don't know. That's just what my brain says. Another thing that I got, and I have to blame the 310 Stitcher Jade for this, very much the enabler, is I have been watching her Flosstube and I am all caught up. She's been working on the Dragons of Sabbat by Pain Free Crafts. She mentioned that it was going to be retired, so I got it right before the end of the year when they retired the pattern. It is gorgeous. I don't think that I am going to stitch all the background. I think I'm going to ditch the background when I do it and just find a really beautiful fabric. Ideally, I'd like either a black or maybe something that looks like the galaxy, because the design makes me think of kind of like nebulas in outer space, and they almost have an astrological feel to them in the way that they look. So I think a space background would be awesome. I think my favorite one is the white dragon that's curled around its egg. I don't know why, but it's just beautiful. I totally blame Jade for that. I'm really looking forward to stitching it. I got a new hoop frame, which was the big 18-inch one, and then I ended up not using it. Oh, wait, I did get never mind. That was a new hoop, not a new hoop frame. My new hoop frame is actually hiding under here right now. It looks just like my old hoop frame. It's just one of the ones that the floor stands, the smaller ones that you screw the hoop into with between the two pieces of wood. But this one, I can flip it. Instead of having to lift up the whole thing and like lay it on my head, I can just 180 my cross stitch and tie it off and then 180 it back so that I can work on it again. And that's what I'll be using to do my cliffhanger, which if you watched my Stitch With Me, you would have seen it in action. I also got 2 issues of World of Cross Stitching since my last big video, or my last regular video, and my Just Cross Stitch, which I will share with you some of my favorite patterns with you now. This is the December one, and it came with a bonus calendar. All right, so this is the bonus calendar, and it's got these 6 animal designs. I think the fox is adorable. And look at the little tiny mouse. I haven't stitched a mouse yet. I should definitely stitch that little mouse. And I do love a good bunny. He is adorable. All right, now this gets to be the tricky part. because I want to share with you my favorite designs out of here, but not the patterns. All right, so this is the December issue of World of Cross Stitching for 2023. Actually, my husband will just cover it up with graphics, so I'm not worrying about it. I actually have a coworker who's Jewish, and I love the little Hanukkah mouse. She's adorable. Actually, all these little furry tail mouse are super cute. I really find her quite lovely with her classic winter muff there to put her hands in and her beautiful gloves. And I thought these were really cute. Make little cards out of them. Thought they were adorable. That was really my favorite ones of that magazine. This is the Just Cross Stitch spring one. I used to love Easter when I was a kid, but aesthetically it's not my thing so much anymore. But there are still some cute patterns in here. This makes me think of Peter Rabbit from when I was a kid. I know it's not Beatrix Potter related, but it just makes me think of it. Probably because she's wearing clothes. I do love butterflies, so I thought this was super cute. I know that that's not a planter, but I think it would make a really good planter. This clover black work is quite lovely. Makes me think St. Patrick's Day and Irish, and I'm part Irish. And I haven't tried black work yet. This might be a good one to start with. I really like the mood of this with the lady in the black and white, and then got the variegated rain in different colors coming down. It kind of, the Morton Salt. It reminds me of the old Morton Salt cover or label with the rain and the umbrella. And I know it's not that, but that's what it reminds me of from my childhood. Although this is a little bit less, I don't know how to say it. This is a more grown-up aesthetic, I guess, is what I'm trying to get across. Even if you don't like everything in the magazine, with the cost of individual patterns, it's cheap enough to justify getting them. Even if you just spend one, just sew one of them. This is my newest issue of World Cross Stitch. You can see where the cat went after it. Unfortunately, I didn't get the little kit that's supposed to come with it. I gotta contact them about that because that's happened twice now. How cute is this bear and penguin? Oh, little penguin, yay! He's just so excited to have a peppermint stick. But penguins are always cute. These little ornaments with the beads are very adorable. I kind of like this advent calendar. It's non-traditional. It's just really pretty nature scene. And then you just, I guess you put it on a magnetic board and you just slide the little snowflake across. I like it because it's different and more subtle than a lot of the ones I've seen. I am no longer a pirate, but I still love piratey stuff. And this little pirate map is super cute. This is really cute too. And that's the little kit that didn't come with it. And now I am sad. I mean, I know I have all the supplies here and I could just get the stuff myself and make it myself. I kind of am sad that I didn't get the kit. That is my magazines. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Brain doesn't always remember everything. All right. So now for plans.
Because I dared to dream of my own race of atomic monsters.
I am doing Magical Stitches again this year. Their book theme is Holly Black. I've only read one of her books before, and I think it was Doll Bones, which was a children's horror picture book. I just finished reading the first one this month, Talisman, I think was what it was called. Terrible with names. I know it started with a T. And so every month they give us 15 prompts that are related to the book, and I finished all my prompts already. And then I had open stitching time. In addition to the book-related prompts, there is a year-long challenge where we can befriend 50 mythical creatures. You have to do 500 stitches to identify it, 1,500 to research it, or 1,000 to research it, another 1,500 to, can't remember what that step is, and then 2,000 to befriend it. So to friend each creature, you have to do 5,000 stitches, but there's no guidelines on what project you can use. So you can just count up your stitches on anything. This is one of the reasons I'm not doing the backstitch on my Goth Stitch Along yet, is because the Goth Temp Stitch Along, I'm not doing the backstitch because backstitch only counts as half. I want to use full stitches as much as possible so that I can get as far as possible in all my stitching challenges. One of my goals this year is to finish the Dead Outlaw female and start the male version. I do, as I said earlier, plan to finish my backstitching for the Goth Temp Stitch Along. I'm going to try to stay current on the It Sal. I'm going to try to stitch mostly from my stash this year. That doesn't mean no purchasing or anything. That brings me to my retreat that I'm going to. I registered for Frogwarts 5. I blame Erica and Kevin from Akio Whips. I blame Erica and Kevin for getting this into my brain. My friend Teresa and I are going to do it together. So I am registered for Frogwarts. I have never done a retreat before, not even a retreat in a box. This was my alternative to the Queen Stitcher's retreat. I really wish I could have done both of them. Just with the travel expenses and the hotel and everything, I just decided, as much as I wanted to go to the Queen City Stitcher's retreat wasn't an option. I heard it was great fun. So I am going to do Frogwarts instead. I can do it at home. There's no travel cost. There's no hotel cost. I am going to take the weekend off and treat it like I was in an in-person retreat. I am looking around for the perfect fabric. I did do some pricing for all of the fancy floss. I will not be doing all of the fancy floss. I think I'm going to pick a few colors for the borders of the different years and do those fancy flosses and maybe use some of my Etoile or something from my stash that I already have. I have seen what comes in those boxes and I cannot wait to get it. And I can't wait to, get to hang out with some people and do some competitions and get to go to my first retreat, even if I'm also staying at home. I'm super excited. Another goal that I have for this year is to finish one page of Cliffhanger. I want to finish the Wisdom Stocking for my child. I'm going to do my first birthday start this year. I found out that one of my coworkers is going to have a baby, and they are doing the baby's nursery in nature themed. So, and don't yell at me for doing Hobby Lobby. I got this a really long time ago, many moons ago. Or I got it, I don't even know if I got it at Half Price Books or wherever, but I'm going to make these little foxes for her. I'm going to make the little baby foxes. That's her favorite forest animal. I haven't decided what I'm going to put it on yet because I want it to be something practical. So I don't know if I'm going to find like a really cute blanket and then use some dissolvable waste fabric or put it on a bag or something like that. So I have to figure that out before I start it. But they're so adorable. The only thing that I have left is I have seen on Instagram, somebody's working on the Heaven and Earth designs, What Lies Beneath. I will have my husband insert a picture here. It is a gorgeous octopus island thing. It has been retired from Jade, but I have learned that Charting Creations is now the licensed charter for this design, this artwork. If any of you have had any experience with Charting Creations charts, are they as good as Jade's? Are they easy to read? Or should I just try to find it on eBay from Jade so I know that I'm getting a good quality chart? So if any of you know anything about Charting Creations product, and if they're really good to use, please let me know. They're pretty reasonably priced, but if I'm going to be doing a project that's that big and has like 100 colors, I want to make sure that the chart's good and easy to read so that I don't get mad at it halfway through and just throw the whole thing out. That would be way too much time and effort.
There is another chart on Heaven and Earth Designs called What Lies Beneath, but it looks like something Lisa Frank painted while suffering from dysentery.
My shout outs this time around are 310 Stitcher Jade. I mentioned her earlier. She is now officially an enabler because I bought Dragons of Sabat. She has some great projects, mostly full coverage stuff. Her voice is very soothing. It's just really nice and fun to hang out with her while I stitch. I am also going to shout out Mad, Morti, and Brom. I've mentioned them several times, but I wanted to give them an official shout out. They are amazing and kind and funny. Great projects. Their projects, especially Morty's, tend to appeal to the darker side of my soul. Those are my shout outs. Now for book recommendations.
That's right. She's a librarian. So that means you got to hear about books. If necessary, against your will, at knife point.
This is a book I listened to on audiobook by one of my favorite stand-up comedians, Ali Wong. She is known mostly for doing her comedy specials very, very, very pregnant. This book is called Dear Girls, Intimate Tales, Untold Secrets, and Advice for Living Your Best Life. It is written by Ali Wong and her husband, Justin Hakuda. And it is basically set up as a bunch of letters to her daughters, sharing various experiences she's had. They are funny. They are touching. I laughed so hard. I cried. And she is completely honest. If you are easily offended, I do not recommend, because she is blatantly honest about her experiences, her preferences, all sorts of things. Sorry, my cat is being mischievous behind the camera. It is a really good read, though. And she reads it, and then her husband reads like the foreword and stuff. So it was totally a family project. My young adult or child book is Starfish by Lisa Epps. It's about a girl who is heavy. Her mom is constantly pressuring her to diet, and it's to the extent that it is abusive. You know, she goes to therapy. Her dad has some... It was a good read. It was a little tough in places. You know, it was a really good look at, you know, not making people feel bad because they don't fit a certain standard. And I could see it apply. That idea applied to many things. And just in this case, it was applied to a young preteen girl who was being pressured by her mom to be super thin. And it just wasn't healthy for her to be pressured that way. It was a very good read, especially for kids that have some eating disorders or body dysmorphia kind of stuff.
Mostly, I don't want to interrupt Amy, because this is her thing, not mine. I'm just a cosmic entity masquerading as a comedy sidekick. But on this subject, I gotta say something real. I was a chubby kid. In junior high, I was essentially Bobby Hill. And my stepfather, an angry and violent man, did not let me forget it for 1 second. And it has screwed me up in ways I could not begin to talk about. So just love your children and accept them and support them. And if you do that, they'll probably turn out okay.
All right, now, final is movie recommendation. This is one that we watched, I think, over Christmas break. No, wait, it was before that. Maybe over Thanksgiving. I can't remember exactly when we watched it. It is called Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. This is a movie that was funded by Kickstarter. It is based on a series of net shorts, if I remember correctly. It is hilarious. It is goofy. It is very strange. It's kind of a campy, it is a campy horror comedy. It's somewhere between Stuart Gordon and Pee Wee Herman. Very funny. The main character is this kind-hearted, emotionally damaged weirdo guy that is obsessed with this one magician or sorcerer, but he's kind of completely clueless and bit of a moron, really, but you love him anyway because he's just kind and has no ill intent toward anybody. He meets these other strange people and they go to the sorcerer's house and then things go awry. But it's very funny and very interesting and had some surprises. They definitely did things in ways that a lot of other movies haven't, and it was very refreshing because when you've watched as many movies as we have, it's really hard for movies to surprise us or do something unexpected. So if you like some goofy stuff, if you like horror, if you like comedies, I really recommend you checking this out. I can't remember, where's it streaming, honey? Now, be prepared. It is super goofy and it is kind of silly, but totally on purpose.
Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations.
I've been invited to Bartok's mansion to take part in a once-in-a-lifetime ritual in which he, along with 5 of his most loyal followers, will attempt to raise the spirit of the ancient demon, Abaddon.
You're not going anywhere until you scoop that litter box.
I will leave you for today. Thank you for joining me and happy stitching.
Hey, and if you watched this far, thanks. We appreciate it. Do me a favor. Click those positive reinforcement buttons, like, subscribe, the bell, you know the ones. Share it if you're feeling froggy. I got a bell now, but it was nice. We should do it again sometime. Maybe get a drink, see what happens. Later, taters.